All right, so we have this tool called Privy. So think of Privy as like a Facebook ecosystem for private groups. So with Facebook, you're swimming in an ocean with a zillion other people, and the people at Facebook have control over that, right? So, I mean, we're probably all on Facebook, aren't we? Are you even on Facebook?
Yes.
24/7? Yeah, like for instance, let's use this as an example. Okay, so we're all on Facebook, and how many times have you seen like your friends on Facebook post that stock thing that says Facebook's recent privacy changes say that you need to go in and check this and uncheck this, and otherwise people can see pictures of my kids and that kind of stuff. Have we all seen that blanket post people have made, and they usually at the end of it says I'm going to check back and I'll defriend you if you haven't done this by Thursday or something like that. It's something they're copying off something else. I've never actually done it, and none of these people have defriended me. But so one of the issues with Facebook. So if we think of, so let's really think about this in terms of a distributed operating system. So Facebook is one entity up in the cloud, right? Exists in one place, and you don't have any control over it. I mean, nothing you say is going to change what Facebook might do. And they might take your opinion into consideration, but you don't have any control over how they run their business, right? So the idea is that we're all swimming in the same ocean. We're in this one gigantic, from Privy terms, this one gigantic privy called Facebook. And everybody can see everybody else. So you can sit there and you can do searches for people, and we've probably all done that before, right? This Facebook stalking. What's that? and you go and find the person. You see how many of their pictures are unlocked, and you're like, oh, they didn't lock anything down. I don't even need to be friends with this person to stalk them, right? So that's the Facebook ecosystem. So if you are on Facebook, you have access to or you have access to all these other people. And when you first sign up for Facebook, it isn't necessarily obvious what things you need to turn off, what things other people can see. And a lot of us just don't care, right? I mean, I'm not a private person, so I don't really care. I don't put anything on Facebook anything I put on Facebook, I assume the rest of the world can see. I'm putting pictures of steaks and stuff like that up there. I don't care who sees that stuff. But you've probably also heard of things like somebody will post on Facebook saying that, just left for my vacation, blah, blah, blah. And then, an hour later, their house gets robbed. You heard that before? These things really happen. There are thieves that troll Facebook looking for when people say they're not home. So, I mean, this stuff is a real problem for some people. So in any case, think of Privy as a Facebook ecosystem for private groups. So rather than there being one gigantic Facebook, Privy creates this idea of a privy. So a privy is like a miniature Facebook, controlled by an administrator for a smaller group. So, as an example, let's say that you have a privy, Christian worldview right here. Get ready for some points. So let's say you have a privy for a Bible study. All right, so let's take Concordia's Bible study group, the thing I invite everybody to every Tuesday that nobody shows up to. It's free lunch. Free lunch. And it's actually entertaining. Pastor Smith does a pretty good job with it. Like, it's not like this boring thing. Like, you can always come in and have the lunch, and it doesn't start for about 20 minutes after you actually get lunch. You get a fake diarrhea and leave. So, free lunch is what I'm saying. But in any case, so let's say, that Bible study, if you've ever gone by that room, noon on Tuesdays, there's like 60 or 70 people who come to that every single week. Now, fine, we have 1 hour a week that we're having face-to-face type communication. Now, then you have, let's say out of that 60 or 70 people, maybe there's about 10 or 12 of them that are active. You know what I mean? All those 60 or 70 people come every week, but out of that, you kind of have the same 10 or 12 people who are always talking, who are always participating, and all this other stuff. So those are people that might go, once you go offline, they might have interactions, with each other. Well, so the idea is if we create a privy for the Bible study, those 60 or 70 people, well, let's just say 70. Makes it sound more bestest. 70 people all join this privy. Only those people can see other people in the privy. Okay? Now, there's 3 types of privies. There's public. Well, there's 2 types of privies. There's public and private privies. So, for instance, for this class, we made a private privy. That is, there was a password. So, people, if you go into the app, there's a little cloud button. You can shop, if you will, on the Privy store and see all the privies that other people have created. So if you go back to your home, the home screen, which you get to by hitting the little dude up in the upper left-hand corner. Actually, that's not even true. You don't do it that way. You do it.
Was it the left plus and then?
Yeah, left plus.
Bottom right.
Yeah, and just hit the little home button. So at the very bottom right, if you hit the cloud, this takes you to the Privy store. And you see there's all sorts of categories in here, so you can go and browse them, or you can just do a search. But if you click on academic, it should bring up a whole bunch. It should bring up, like 8, 7, something like that. So, Baker University is on there. There's the shotgunning thing, people eating tasty animals. Privy, that's on there. I think Dane just joined another privy. And then you see a couple of computer science ones in here. But in any case, we have a bunch of privies. A lot of these are test things, but we also have some public betas going on that people actually using it. And some of these privies you can just join. Other privies you have to put in a password in order to get into them. So even though people know they exist, you might not be able to get into them. So, realistically speaking, for a Bible study privy like this, that's probably going to be public. Concordia wants to encourage people to come and have everybody join in on that privy. That make sense? Now, let's go down. Let me create a second slide here. Let's say that we have a privy for a country club. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to say River Club. That's my club. Okay, so privy for River Club. So this is a private country club, members only type thing. So this is going to probably have, let's say, 300 members. So those are the membership at this country club. And this is going to be private. So password protected, invite only type thing. So the idea is that only people who are paying members of the River Club can come and can join this. Now, there's kind of 2 different levels here to using Privio. So let's do a third privy here. Keep it much more small scale. So let's say we have a privy for CSC 350 study group. All right. So let's just say Dane decides, you know what? We're going to have a study group for this class right at the beginning of the semester. He downloads the free Privy app. He can go in there. He can create his own Privy right from the app. Invite, the 4 or 5 people from class to it, and then have that's an easy way to collaborate on homework, let's say. So you're only, you're not putting questions about homework assignments and stuff like that out on Facebook where other people might see it. Not that you necessarily care, but just extrapolate the example to something you might care about. Okay, you can take this. Let's say there's a new company that you're starting with some of your friends. It's a startup, and maybe you just create a privy for the 3 or 4 people. You just have a thing with the 3 or 4 people that are part of that company in this little private ecosystem for you to have conversations that you don't want other people to see. With Facebook, you might worry about other people seeing stuff that you don't want them to see. You may not think about it. So in any case, if you have this little study group, you're going to create it with the free app. It costs you nothing. And it's made for small collaboration communities. Make sense? So that would be an example of how somebody like you would use Privio 100% free. Doesn't cost you a dime. It solves most of the problems Facebook solves, but in a group that you control. Go ahead.
Facebook also has closed off groups that no one else can see.
Mm-hmm. And I'll talk about that
Oh,
because theirs actually works significantly differently.
oh.
So, but the idea is this is more than just a group. I mean, first of all, you have direct communication. You can do all sorts of things inside this. So think about the entire Facebook feature set. It does some things Facebook doesn't. It doesn't do some things that Facebook does. But the kind of the easy generic way of referring to it is just think about the entire Facebook feature set, but in a group that is very small, or a group that you control. So for this Privy CSD 350 study group, this would be 100% free forever. Doesn't cost you a dime. Because that's not where so think about this Privio thing as being a business model. Think of it as being a company like Facebook. So the guy who's going to come in and talk to us, he's going to be interested in your concept of this, not just from using it, but also just the idea of this. So I actually asked him to come next Friday instead of Monday so I can kind of give you a presentation thing on this so you kind of understand the mentality. And, I want you to be honest. If you think it's a dumb idea, tell them it's a dumb idea. But I want you to understand what it's meant to be. The idea is to give him constructive feedback, not to make him happy. Does that make sense? So anyways, for a small group like this, it'd be 100% free forever, but most of us are parts of lots of little different things, right? So we might be, in a running group, and we might have a group of guys that we golf with, and we might have a group of guys that we have our study group for 2 or 3 different classes. Now, the reality is that we want to keep those separate because we're talking about separate topics. And I'll just talk about this at the high level, and maybe next time I'll be able to mimic the phone on the screen. But even your profile, when you create your profile, in Facebook you have one profile, and that profile is what everybody can see. Your friends can see more of it than other people, but it's either on or off, right? Well, with Privy, you have a global profile. So for instance, you saw the picture of me on there. That's part of my global profile. As soon as I created a brand new Privy, it automatically brought that in there. But now what I can do is I can go into that specific Privy and I can turn things on or off. So I can change what people might be able to see. I can even do that at a granular level. I can say that maybe I want Ali to have access to my cell phone number, but I don't want Skippy to have access to it. So I can go in and I can turn off that individual piece of information for individual people. So you have a lot of granular control about who sees what and all that stuff. But this is not a profit center for the Privio company. This is more of a tool that everybody can use, and then they would go and tell other people about it. Now, let's go to something like a Privy for River Club. This is a situation where we probably want to start making some money off of this. From a Privio company perspective, we don't care about a 5-person group. Even if you guys were going to pay money, it's going to be like 99 cents a month or something like that, and then you wouldn't even do that, right? It's not real money, and it's not a real profit center. But now let's take something like Privy for River Club. Now, when you're using this free thing, everything you do is from the app. But now if you have the Privy from River Club, you get access to this administration panel. So now you're on a paying type contract. So instead of having very limited access to the features that just the phone gives you, let's say we go into CSC 350 here. And so here you guys are all these, I can view all the privileges. I can see all the people that are in here, except I didn't click view all. I clicked add. I can sell advertising space in here. So I can create ads, view ads. So as a country club, I can sell ads to local people and actually become a profit center for myself. So let's say that a snow removal place here in Mequon wants to market to all the members of River Club. Well, at a private country club like that, the membership list is kind of a secret thing. We don't want the public to know who's a member here. Some of it's because of the members' privacy. A good example, one of the partners in this business is TJ Summer, who owns the Highlands Hunt Club up in Cascade. And his membership is made up of like CEOs of Northwestern Mutual and things like that. People who they go to this hunt club so they don't have to deal with normal people coming up and talking to them and wanting to do business. They want to choose how those conversations go. So the punchline there is TJ would not give a snow removal place a list of his membership along with emails and allow them to go in contact, solicit his membership. But in a situation like this, TJ can now sell this place, sell that snow removal place, an advertisement. So he can sell them an ad at a pre-negotiated price. And when he sells them that ad, maybe TJ's bringing in $2,000. Let's use that as an example. And he's allowing that place to now create an advertisement, and it'll be within Privy for you to see. There's one of the things that says special offers in there. So within Privy, you'll see special offers that are for this membership only. And the snow removal place knows that they're marketing to the membership, but doesn't know who the membership is. So maybe they give them a keyword or something, and when a member from River Club goes to the snow removal place and says, yeah, hey, I saw your advertisement at River Club, maybe there's a secret word or something, or they just say, I saw it from River Club, and they get the discount or the special offer or whatever it is, that's the way you can market to a private membership. So that's another avenue that you can do here. I can come in here, so let's say that the River Club is a country club for golf. So let's say that the green, the 18th green is flooded, and you guys are thinking about coming out after work or something like that. I might choose to send something to all members and say 18th green is flooded. Hit send, and you all should get a push notification. In theory. I don't know if it's somebody trying to get in. Could just be the wind moving the thing. I think it just sent it. I got it on my phone. You did get it? Okay, so we sent a message. So things like that. I could also communicate by throwing something on the news feed. So I might say 18th green is flooded. And I'll go ahead and post that on the news feed. So instead of it bugging you through a push notification, it's going to show up on the news feed of the actual app. So if you go into CSC 350, you should see a new newsfeed post. And notice that it's above all the other newsfeed posts. So it says 18th green is flooded, and it's pinned at the top. So that's a way for you to communicate with your membership. So newsfeed might be for less important things. I can send private messages to individual members. But here, from a revenue perspective for these push notifications, let's say that there was a wedding at a country club last night. Now, weddings always have leftover food, and a lot of them are buffet type style things. So let's say that the club, rather than throw away this food, wants to, have food for the membership and make money off of it. So maybe we do something like this. So maybe as the the club manager or something like that, I come in here and I say, okay, uh, free food in the Nines tonight, which is one of their restaurants. Half price tap beer and wine or something like that. Yeah. So they're doing an alcohol special. We all assume that they're marking up their alcohol a lot, right? So that's still profitable for them. They're giving away food that they were going to throw away anyways. And so the food's the bribe, and now they just created a profit center for themselves by allowing, telling people, hey, by the way, tonight we're having this special. Come out, get, cheap booze. And yeah, well, cheap is all relative, right? They're selling you a $3.50 glass of wine that costs them 75 cents instead of a $7 glass of wine that costs them 75 cents. So you can see how this can actually turn into a profit center, being able to get messages quickly out to your entire membership, where your membership is carrying around their club and their country club on their smartphones. So the whole notification side of things, this is something that a club would pay for because now they are Big Brother. They are Facebook. So they can do these push notifications and newsfeed posts and send private messages to the global group rather than to just your friends. See, if you are that person who created the study group for 350, you can go into your phone and you can go and create private messages and you can send it. And it's actually fairly slick. So I can come in here and I can say I want to do a private message, compose new message, tap to add recipients, and everybody who's become friends with me will show up on that list. So right now, Ali, Carrie, and Skip have all, approved me as friends.
What are you doing?
I from requesting him?
Oh, you requested me. Oh yeah, because I hadn't friend requested you yet. It was in my. So I'm gonna send a message to all three of them. Just select it, hit done. I'm just gonna say boo, and I'll hit post. So now I just sent a private message to the three of you, and now we have a conversation going. Underneath, over on the right, I have my alerts and requests. But now the thing is, under alerts, messages, and requests, these are things across all my privies. So if you're a member in 5 different privies, you don't have to go into each individual one to see what's going on. You can just go to your alerts here, and I can see that here's all these privies that I'm in. I can go to my requests, and I can see that on Privy Creators, TJ wants to be my friend. Highland Sports Club, Ann Summer wants to be my friend. TJ wants to be my friend. And then in 350, Dane wants to be my friend. So I'll click on that, and I'll approve the request. And reject. Okay. But I don't have to individually go into all these things. So I can have communication with all of my little subgroups, all of my small Facebook ecosystems, all at the same time without having to go and physically check the news feed on this one, and check the news feed on this one, check the alerts on this one, all that stuff. It all comes into one central place that it immediately takes you to the right place. Okay, so now the privy for River Club, it's private, can sell ads, can market to membership with push notifications, sticky newsfeed posts. That is, it sticks to the top. Other newsfeed things go underneath it. So it'll always be at the top of everybody's list on the newsfeed. And private messages. So an administrator has an easy way to talk to their entire membership or a portion of their membership, and they don't have to they're not limited to talking to only their friends. Make sense? So that's really kind of the difference between a public and a private privy. So the public privies, in a situation where you have 70 people, this might be a paid thing as well. So maybe the Concordia is paying for the Bible study thing. There's 70 people in this privy, but anybody can join it. But now from the website here, You can send out push notifications letting people know that Bible study tonight is canceled. Or you can send out a news feed for today's reading. Or a private message to somebody, that's in the group, say, hey, can you bring cookies to the next study? Those kind of things. So now you have a way to communicate with your entire group of people knowing that it's going to get to their phone instead of making phone calls and sending text messages to individual people. It's all in one place for communicating with that group. So it's kind of like this idea of having email lists where maybe you have 10 people who are part of a group. You create an email list, so you just email to that email list. And everybody gets it. This is kind of like that on steroids because you can contact those people in different ways. Similarly, when you are in a paid Privy, you can come to manage. You can manage content. You can manage the forums. So by default, you get a forum just called general discussion. So if you go into the app, just to kind of give you what the menu things mean, on the far left, when you hit the X, top left is your profile, next thing is your newsfeed, next thing is private messages, next thing are the members of the group who are friends of yours and not friends of yours, and the home thing takes you back to your list of privies. On the right-hand side, you have the groups that you're in or that exist. So now groups would kind of be like what Facebook does for groups. So notice it's the Privy idea is a level of abstraction above that. So a group for this can be public, private, protected. Okay, public, private, protected. Oh yeah, by the way, there's advertisements on the free version of it. Okay, so a Privio group can be public, private, or protected. Public means everybody can see it. So now you're seeing some computer science overlap here, just like security things for programming languages like Java. Private means nobody can see it. Invite only. Protected means everyone can see it. Well, here, public means everyone can see it and join. Private means nobody can see it, invite only. Protected means everyone can see it, but must be invited to join. So when you create a group, so maybe let's keep going with the example. Let's say that for River Club, there is Privio for River Club. Now, an individual member at River Club might have well, for instance, on Saturday mornings, I play with a group of guys. I play golf with a group of guys. They're called the Dirt Patrol. They tee off at 8 a.m. It's called the Dirt Patrol. There's a 7 a.m. group called the Dawn Patrol. It's a rivalry. Every year we have a Ryder Cup where we play against each other. This year, the Dirt Patrol got completely killed by the Dawn Patrol. I won my matches. I won 2 of my 3 matches and tied the other one. But yeah, we got killed.
You're on the wrong team.
Yeah. I'd rather play at 8 than 7. But I'd rather play at 8 than 9. Like 7, that means I have to get over there probably at 6:30. 8 means I get over there at 7:30. That's more legit. But let's say that the River Club buys Privio. So now the entire membership has access to Privio and they can make friends with each other and things like that. But now subgroups within the membership, maybe for the Dirt Patrol, we create a group. And maybe it's could be a public group, maybe it's a protected group. So everybody knows they exist, but maybe they have to be invited or have to ask for permission to join the group. Like, hey, when do you guys play? Can I get in on your list? Well, now every single week, so this is how it works right now. This is the guy who runs the Dirt Patrol. His name is Victor Chua. And he sends an email out to all these people plus 27 more people. Twice a week. because they play on Thursdays and they play on Saturdays. So twice a week he sends out an email to these 32 people or however many there was before that, and asks who's playing this week. Reply, that kind of stuff. Well, now he can do all that from within a group. And he can also have discussions within the group, and we can, where now it's like a back and forth thing via email and all this stuff. And sometimes people reply all, saying, oh yeah, I'll be there. And we all get that message. Other people just reply to Victor, the guy who sets it up. So rather than solving that problem in email, you could solve it in groups. Now, groups are completely encrypted. So these guys have encrypted data. So anything that happens in a group is stored on the servers encrypted. So it's not public information. So groups might be a place where people can have like private business conversations, for example. And those are things that, for instance, the River Club can't, the administrators there can't go in and see these conversations. So the members of the River Club have anonymity from the club itself inside that privy rather. So groups are, think of them like boardrooms, or think of them like a classroom. We might get a group of people in here, and we have access to store stuff. So we have a kind of a news feed type thing in there. We also have a way to have pictures and files and things like that associated with an individual group. So it's a single room that has a subset of the membership in it that we can provide information that's persistent. So that's what a group is, similar to what groups are for Facebook. But with Facebook, you don't necessarily know what the level of security is. You don't know who has access to your data. So one of the things we're selling with this idea of Privio is this idea of security. So now,
Does that mean, say, we're all in a group,
Mhm.
so we're like 350, and then I just want to send a message to Dane. I don't know, maybe it's about some stupid comment he made in class or something. But then we talk about it. Since you're the administrator, could you see that conversation?
Nope. I can't see private messages. I can't see things that happen in groups. All I can see as all I can see as an administrator is what I would be able to see as a normal user
Okay.
inside Privio. That's the only data that I can see.
Okay.
I can reach out to everybody, so I can communicate with everybody.
You can't grab.
Right. I can't. I have write, but not read privileges.
Okay.
But I can't write into your private conversation. So if you have a private conversation going back and forth with you and Dane, I can't interject into that conversation. I don't even know the conversation is happening.
Okay.
But now you assume that, well, punchline is Facebook may not be able to do that. I assume they probably could read what your private conversations are. But the point is that with this, we're an entity that we're telling you we can't. We're advertising that, where Facebook only discloses what they have to disclose. So you're kind of at the mercy of how their security system works or what they choose to tell you. So now, still kind of going through that right menu. So that's the groups that you might be in. Then you also have your photo albums. So you can create multiple albums, upload images. You can upload multiple images at once from your phone. So not dissimilar from what Facebook does, except you could have photo albums related to each of your privies. You could also have photo albums associated with groups. So maybe if you're in a running group, a running club, you have pictures in your photo albums associated with your running stuff. If you are in a fishing group, you have fishing type photos. Go ahead.
But then if you said you also have like a global profile,
Mm-hmm.
would that have everything, like running, fishing?
No, photos are not part of your global profile.
Okay.
Yeah, so the idea is that no single person would necessarily have access to all your stuff except you. So maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. In Facebook, everybody has access to all your pictures. Where in this case, you could have certain pictures that are for a certain group. With Facebook, if you're a friend with somebody, you have access to their crap. If you're not, you don't. Potentially. You potentially do, even if you're not friends with them. In this, you don't even know they exist except for the list. And actually, that's something else in side here. So let's manage content. So if I'm River Club, I would have access to this administration panel, so I could decide whether I want to filter explicit language or not. So for a church, that's important, right? And you can edit the list of words that you want to We give them a default list, but they could edit that.
Which consists of what?
What's on the default
Yeah.
list? I didn't write it, but you could probably make some pretty decent guesses about what's on the list. But they can edit it however they want. The default is off. Privacy permissions, you can decide whether somebody can make private posts, create private groups, create private events. We haven't even talked about events yet. So, for instance, like right now, this guy sends out this email that says, okay, well, we have, we're playing Saturday morning at 8. Let me reply to this email. Let me know if you're in. Well, now we can create an event for Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Invite all the people that are part of the group Dirt Patrol, and people could just RSVP. They go and click, say, yes, I'll be there, no, I won't. So then the guy who created the event can go in there, look, and see how many people are coming, and even see who's coming. So, it's somewhat different maybe than events in Facebook where people get, you get invited to parties, but you're inviting either your whole friendship group or everybody that's in your or a subset of that group that you have to individually pick. You don't have that granular control in the middle where you have these subgroups that you can say, I want to invite all these people to it. I want to invite all these people to it. You can actually sort of kind of pull that off with groups, but in a kind of a weird way. Yeah.
Would that private event be within the group of your membership, your country club, or would that just he would have to create his own separate?
No, within that group, within the country club.
Okay.
So a member of the country club, in this case Victor Chua,
Okay.
he would then create his own group, probably a protected group called Dirt Patrol, invite the 35 guys that are in Dirt Patrol to that group. And now they can have communication related to Dirt Patrol in there, blah, 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 whatever. Just back and forth banter. But then he can go in and create an event within the River Club thing, invite all the people from his Dirt Patrol group instantly, just say, invite these guys.
Okay.
And then hit submit. And now an invite went out to all those guys. And even when you create an event, you can choose how you want to reach those guys, how you want to advertise your event. So if I come in here and I want to create a new event, so I'll go create. I choose to invite friends, and I can invite individual friends. I can invite people from a group. I can add photos associated with the event. I can add a logo associated with the event. And then I can send the invite. I can choose to either send the invite as private messages or push notifications. So kind of another interesting way to invite your people. So this is whether or not you're allowed to have private events. So as the administrator, you can choose whether events are visible to everybody or whether events are invite only. Same thing with private profiles. You can decide whether somebody is allowed to shut down part of their profile to everybody or to individual people, or it's open to everybody. Same thing with private photos. So you have control over that stuff. You can decide with your, you can unsubscribe to your account. This is a paid thing. This is another side of the app, like where the actual money comes from. But, hopefully as as I've kind of gone through this, you see that, so we have events, we have forums. In the pro version, in the version that's paid for, the person can describe, what forum topics there are and stuff like that. Otherwise, you're kind of at the mercy of what's in there. You can create new topics inside of general discussion, but you only have that one big forum. There's a special offers section as well. So let's take River Club from the perspective of the membership. From the perspective of the membership, let's say there's a dentist at River Club that wants to give a 30% offer to all the other River Club members. Because it's one of the advantages at a country club. You're bumping shoulders with other professionals, and sometimes you just barter services and that kind of stuff. Or you're also looking to grow your business. Well, what he can do is he can put in a special offer section that where people can look up, I'm looking for a dentist. And maybe he decides to offer a special offer for the membership. It shows up a little star next to his thing with the special offer. So now people can click on that, directly contact him and say, I want to make an appointment. Something like that, and you get the discount. So now the members of the club can advertise to other members in a non-confrontational way, rather than walking up to some naked guy in the locker room and handing him a business card. Now you could do it through. It's like, where do you want me to put this? Yeah. So at the high level, kind of makes sense what this thing is, generally speaking. All right, so think about that some. I'll continue to send out some messages and stuff. Try to start using it for stupid little communication and stuff like that, and see if you can find things that are broken or not broken, and what works, what doesn't work, what you like, what you hate, that kind of stuff. And he's going to come in the last 10 minutes of class next Friday. So not a real long thing, but just ask questions, ask your opinion. So if there's things that you like about it, tell them. If there's things you hate about it, tell them. Give them an idea and the whole idea. Like, do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? If it's a good idea, what's right about it? If it's a bad idea, what's wrong about it? What's wrong with the idea? So, your opinion is important to him, even if your opinion is anti. Like, okay, well, this is a stupid idea. That's fine. He wants to know that. Yeah.
How much does it cost to get that?
That's a good question. I'm not sure that's been entirely decided, but plans? Okay. There is a cool video you can watch on here too that teaches about this thing. So here's the freemium thing. Gold version is up to 250 members. You can get out of ads paying $20 a month, and that's $40 a month. Up to 2,000 members is $130 a month for a club, and to get out of ads, it's $50 a month, and you get administrative support with different things. So for a country club like River Club, they're going to probably be a little bit outside of that one. So they would be a platinum member paying $130 a month to offer it to their entire membership. So I guess as I see that, they're going to clear that real easily with one of those wine nights. Here's some free food that we were going to throw out anyways, and now come in and drink some wine. They'll make $130 back pretty easily. Make sense? Okay. So I'm actually going to try to wrap some of this stuff into some of our examples as we talk about distributed operating systems next week. But at least start thinking about this. Try to start using the tool a little bit. Just kind of force yourself to use it if you wouldn't mind. All right. I'll see everybody on Monday.